Hello everyone. I wanted to make a video about what I've been working on my rigid Heddle Loom. In front of you, you will see the diamond twill pattern. You are able to make this pattern on your rigid Heddle Loom. You'll just need to make sure that you have two heddles the same size. I adapted this pattern from a pattern that I found on the rigid Heddle Loom weaving group on Facebook that Marie Allison had put up that she had modified from another pattern. I'm going to walk through talking about the diagram, how to read the diagram, how I read the diagram, and just walk through what it means, what it says, how to read it. I will also be putting some other videos up of how to warp the loom and how to thread the loom. And I will talk about some of the mistakes that I made, how I fixed those mistakes to come out with a beautiful pattern. So let's get started. So you can see at the top here that there is a warp row. That's where you're going to be doing your direct warping. Then there's a back heddle row and threading directions. There's a front heddle row and threading directions. So this top row, you're going to see 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 2, 2, 2. So the 2 means that you're going to do one loop through that to give you 2 yarn ends. Same with this one loop through, which will give you 2 yarn ends in the end when it's cut. One loop, 2 yarn ends, one loop, 2 yarn ends. Here's where it comes different. So this one and this one, you'll have 2 loops going through with 4 yarn ends. Again, 2 loops going through with 4 yarn ends. Then back to 1 loop, 2 yarn ends, 1 loop, 2 yarn ends, 1 loop, 2 yarn ends. Once you have that set, then you're going to be ready to thread your first heddle. Sorry, let me back up 1 second. So to start with the direct warping, you're going to follow this whole pattern all the way across the first time. Then, when you're ready to do the repeat, you're going to start right at this point. And how I thought of it was, the first time I did 4 2s, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then when I was ready to do the repeats, I was starting down here. And I did 1, 2, 3. I counted these first 2 of the 4 batch as my 4th 2. That might make sense to you, it might not. That made sense to me. But with the repeat, you would do, with this repeat, you would do 3 2s and then the 2 batches of 4. 3 2s, 2 batches of 4. Hope that made sense. Feel free to comment below with any questions that you have, and we'll work through it and get it figured out. Okay, so you have your whole loom warped in this sequence that shows up top. You did 1 row of all of that, and then you do the repeat of just this section. Okay, so then you're coming down to this bottom heddle to thread it. So in my diagram, this little house shape is one of the slots. This hole shape is a hole. So this first 2, you're going to thread 1 yarn end through the house or the slot. 1 yarn end through the hole. Next one, both go through the slot. Next one, 1 goes through the hole, 1 goes through the slot. Now you see here, there's nothing in this hole. You skip a hole. It'll work out in the end, so just skip that one. Next one, 2 through. Then you come to the 4 bunch. You get 1 through the hole, 2 through the slots, 1 through the hole. This one, 3 yarn ends through the house or slot, 1 yarn end through the hole. This one, both through the slot. This one, 1 through the hole, 1 through the house. Again, you see that skip a hole, so let's go ahead and skip that one. And then this one, you have 2 coming through the slot. Now we're to the repeat. So then you're going to come you're at your next bundle of 4. So you're just going to come to the repeat here, and it should be a slot that you'll be doing next. Because you can see that this section looks just like this section. So it's almost like you're coming from here, and like this is that one. And then you're coming to this. So then you just follow this again, follow this again, follow this again, until you're to the end of your loom in your warp. Once you have that all done, then you come down to the final line. This is the front heddle. So you can see that the yarn end that was in the slot will now come to this hole in the front heddle. So you're going to skip the slot in the front heddle. And then you got this hole that comes to the slot, this slot that comes to the slot, this slot comes to the hole, this hole comes to the slot, this slot comes to the slot, this slot comes to the hole, this slot comes to the slot, hole, slot, slot, hole, slot, slot, hole, hole, slot, hole, slot, 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 hole, hole, slot, 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 hole, hole, slot, slot, hole. There's a skip. You got this. Slot, hole, slot, slot. Again, come back to the repeat. And you're going to start from here. Hole to slot, slot to hole, slot to slot, hole to slot. And just continue this threading until the end of your loom.